Trump's trade war has deeply impacted the livelihood of many of the farmers across America. Now, the biggest bulk of their crop in soybeans and corn was sold at one time to China. Well, they're no longer selling to China due to Trump's trade war. China refuses to buy from American farmers now. They have moved on to South America to buy the soybeans and corn elsewhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, this loss of income has created more bankruptcies in farming and all kinds of financial stresses because now they got crops that are rotting, that they can't move, and this is raising the suicide rates in farming across America. Now, suicide has been a problem in farming for a long time now, but it is soaring since the trade war. So, another possible toll on Donald Trump's trade war, farmer suicides. And this came out in HuffPost September 8th, 2019. So, financially, these farmers are not doing as well as they did even 10 years ago. Rural suicides in the U.S. have climbed significantly in recent years, and farm leaders and mental health care providers say financial toll of Donald Trump's trade war could contribute to the tragedy. An official of the National Farmers Union warned earlier this year that financial stress, including the added burden of disappearing markets in the trade war, appear to be taking a toll on farmers' mental health. It's been insane. Patty Edelberg, vice president of the organization that represents some 200,000 farm families. That's my tea kettle here. Turn that off. Anyway, they said now because of the dwindling market from China, especially because they were their real big consumer of the farming products here in America. This has caused all kinds of stress on farmers to the point where it's driving them to suicide. Now, should we be surprised? No. Actually, suicides among farmers has been really bad worldwide. So it's not just here in America, it's going on worldwide. We have more commodities, more grain sitting on the ground right now because we lost huge export markets, she said. We've lost export markets that we've had for 30 years that will never get a chance to get back again. A new survey published this month in JAMA Network Open covering the years of 1999 and 2016, leading up to when Trump took office, and found that the suicide rate among Americans ages 25 to 64 rose 41% in that time. That is a huge jump. 41%, that is huge. Rates among those living in rural counties were 25% higher than people in major metropolitan areas. Researchers suspect that increase in related to poverty, lower incomes, and underemployment. Those factors are really bad in rural areas. Study author Danielle Steele-Smith, a postdoctoral fellow at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, told NBC. The study also found that counties with high levels of social fragmentation based on levels of single-person household unmarried residents and transient residents and a high percentage of veterans had higher rates of suicide. All of those factors were more pronounced in rural counties. And farmers have voiced concerns that Trump's trade war would exacerbate tough financial conditions for them. Yes, they have. They've been screaming at Trump since last year to stop this trade war. They've been screaming at Trump, and Trump has blatantly ignored these farmers every step of the way. Minnesota soybean farmer Bill Gordon told CNN earlier this year, with these added tariffs, farmers are not getting their credit lines renewed. Banks are coming in and foreclosing on their farms, taking their family living away, and it's too much for some of them. We have seen a definite increase in the suicide rate and depression in farmers in the U.S. Wisconsin had a record of 915 suicides in 2017. Damn. Wow. Many of them farmers under financial stress. Net farm income has plunged 50% in 6 years. Farm help organization Farm Aid reported a 30% increase last year in calls to its hotlines. The calls and our work with partners around the country confirm that farmers are under incredible financial, legal, and emotional stress. Bankruptcies, foreclosures, depression, and even suicides in some of the tragic consequences of these pressures, said a statement from the organization. America's family farmers reduced in numbers since the farm crisis of the 1980s have approached endangered status. At Farm Aid, we spend our time on the phone with anxious farm families who cannot make ends meet and who will not be able to improve their situation simply by working harder. Confused and the lack of resolution on policies like trade, immigration, and health care accelerate the crisis. Matt Rossman, a therapist who helps suicidal farmers, blamed the stress of suiciding on the land for farmers who can't take it anymore. Well, there's a lot of people under stress in this country. You know, suicide is not their option. I know these farmers have lost a lot, but I don't think suicide is the answer, but that's me, I guess. So, anyway, low farm prices, the prolonged recession in agriculture, flooding, and the Trump administration are all causing problems, he wrote in an April column in the New Republic. Farmers are becoming dismayed about the tariffs. A Morning Consulting and American Farm Bureau Federation research poll published in April found that 91% of farmers and farm workers said financial issues are affecting their mental health. About 87% of those surveyed said they feared losing their farms, and they are. And they are losing it at a rapid pace. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Taking farms is very familiar among black farmers. Black farmers have had so much of their land stolen away from them. And this is something that has gone on for centuries and it has never been dealt with. Now, look at who it's affecting now. Now, these farmers are all in fear of losing everything because of Trump's tariffs. You know, they've lost their biggest market. Their biggest market was China. And China has halted all spending on agriculture goods in America. And it is an effort in counteracting Trump and all of his tariffs that he's slapping on China. See, the problem is China is not like a lot of the other countries where they get hit with sanctions or tariffs. They can't really fight the U.S. back. China is a very large economic country. So they are in a position where they can fight back, and they are fighting back. They are. And because they are fighting back, it's taking toll on jobs, and it's taking a big hit on farmers, and not to mention the natural disasters that have been hitting farmers over the past few years. And 2019 has been exceptionally bad with these torrential rainfalls, the flooding, the water taking long periods of time from receding from the land. It's been a very tough road. Now, to add insult to injury, Trump is slapping all these tariffs on China, and China's like, hell no, we ain't buying from your farmers. We're not buying anything from them. So it's taking a major toll. Now, as you can see, they are turning to suicide. That's what they're doing. They're turning to suicide, ladies and gentlemen. And this is only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. You know, farming is just not what it used to be in America. And I'm not surprised that it's the rural areas. The rural areas, they've been struggling. Just the opioids alone has been a huge struggle for rural areas. So I am not surprised. And not to mention, I've done a video on how many of these farmers, they can't even pass their farms down to their children because their children are so badly strung out on drugs, or their children died from drug overdoses. So they're like, I'm going to have to sell my farm. I can't pass it down to my children because they're either dead or strung out on drugs. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.